सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। So after listening to the questions asked by student, first of all the teacher praised the student, saying that you are indeed blessed, dhanyosi, kritakrityosi. Why? Pavitam te kulam tvaya. You have done what you were supposed to do. Yad avidya bandha muktya brahmi bhavitum ichchasi. And what is that you have done? That you have desired to gain liberation by getting rid of the bondage of ignorance. So the very fact that you have got that desire, that itself proves that you are indeed blessed. Okay. And then the teacher goes on to emphasize that this path to self-realization is one where one has to put efforts oneself. Nobody else can do it for one. You have to do it yourself. There are things in life which somebody else can do for you. Shankaracharya gave two examples. One is what? Rinamochana kartar. If you are in debt, somebody else can pay it for you. Your son, daughter, wife, husband, they can pay it for you. Second example, if you are carrying lot of weight on your head, mastakonyastabharaha, then you are not able to walk, somebody else can take it for you. But there are things in life which one has to do oneself. What are the examples? Suppose you are hungry, you have to eat. Nobody else can eat for you. They may eat for you, but your hunger will not go. If you are not well, you have to take medicine. The moon, the beauty of the moon, one has to see and experience. Nijabodha chakshusha. By your own eyes, you have to see and enjoy that beauty. Nobody else doing it for you will work. In the same way, the aparokṣānubhūti, the direct experience of the self-realization, liberation, one has to do oneself. But what about others? Others can help. Just like if you are hungry, somebody can cook for you. Somebody can arrange properly in a plate and bring it to you. If too much love is there, they may feed you, but eating you have to do. The doctors can prescribe the medicine. Somebody that you know may get it from the shop. Somebody may bring it in a glass with the glass of water saying that this is the medicine, this is the water. But you have to take it. You have to swallow that medicine. Right? Others may be able to help us, but we have to do it ourselves. Similarly, in this path of self-realization, the teacher, the co-students, they can help us. The teacher can guide us. Right? Somebody can clarify our doubts. Somebody can tell us, no, don't do this. This is not right. Do this instead. Do sadhana in this way. They can tell us what is to be done, but we have to do it ourselves. Right? He emphasized that point again in verse 55 where he says, avidya kama karmadi pashabandham vimochitum kaha shaknuyat vinā atmanam kalpa koti shatairapi. Vinā atmanam, without oneself, who can get rid of your bondage? If the bondage is mine, I have to get rid of it. And what is that bondage? Beautifully put. Avidya, kama, karma. We call it as anartha parampara. Lineage of calamity. Anartha. Why? Because ignorance, it starts with ignorance. I don't know my own nature. Therefore, I think I am this jiva. Therefore, the feeling of limitedness. Then the desire to get complete. So, I think that if I get this, then I will be fulfilled. If I get that, then I will be fulfilled. If I get rid of this, I will be fulfilled. And thus starts the entire play of desire, followed by action to fulfill that desire. But what happens at the end? No more desires come. The ignorance is strengthened further. To fulfill those more desires, we perform more actions and we are caught up in this parampara, in this cycle. This is the bondage and you have to get rid of it yourself. Okay, fine. How? I am going to study all the scriptures. Swamiji decided no. Just because this COVID is there, therefore I could not go anywhere. The moment this is over, I am going to Himalayas. And then what? Then I am going to start. What? First 3-4 years Sanskrit. Because you see all the scriptures are in Sanskrit. So first 3-4 years I am going to study Sanskrit. Then after that Nyaya. They say logic is very important in understanding scriptures. Therefore 3-4 years Nyaya. Then all the other philosophies, yoga philosophy and Vaisheshika and Sankhya and Purvamimamsa, all other philosophy. Then 12 years Vedanta. May God give you strength to do all these things. That's the only thing I can say. Why? Nobody is saying no to studies. But please understand exactly what is required to gain liberation. Na yogena, na sankhyena, na karmana, no na vidya. Brahmatmaikatva bodhena moksha siddhyati na anyatha. If you want liberation, it is possible by Brahma, Atma, Aikya, Bodha, the knowledge of oneness of Brahman and yourself. By that knowledge alone, moksha is possible, liberation is possible, na anyatha, not by any other means. Not by any other means, not by yoga philosophy, not by Sankhya, not by Purvamimamsa philosophy. So are these philosophies wrong? Or I should not? No, they are not wrong, but they have not come to the final point. One can study those philosophies to understand some aspects, but those philosophies are not telling me what is essential for liberation. What are they not telling me? They are not telling me what is required for liberation. What is that? That is Brahmatmaikatva Bodha. And therefore, if I want liberation, I must get it by what? Brahmatmaikatva Bodha. So come to Vedanta. 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 Ved Okay. I got. I should study Vedanta. Done. Google search Vedanta courses. Anywhere, anything Vedanta courses, I am going to listen to everything. And then what? Then I am going to, but just Swamiji, just give me just few months. You give me few months and I will master all the texts, and then you just see. What? No, you come for one of my lectures. Why? It just flows. The way Shankaracharya's pen works, no, like that there. Oh, my dear, that is not for mukti. Vīṇāyāha rūpa saundaryam. The beauty of the Vina. Tantri vādana saushthavam. The expertise in playing those chords. Prajaranjana matram tat. It is all to please the audience. Na samrajyaya kalpate. It will not bring you kingdom. Kingdom of what? Kingdom of that self. That kingdom of the self is indicated through what? Vāgvaikhari. Śabdajālaṃ. Next verse, Shankaracharya explains further. In the pravachana, Vāgvaikhari. Vāgvaikhari means eloquence of speech. Śabdajālaṃ. Jhara means flow. Words are flowing like river. śāstrādhītistu. Expertise in explanation of scriptures. What is that? Last time we had seen padachhedah, padartokti. You clearly first separate out the words and tell this is the words. Then padartokti, meaning of those words. Then vigraha. Then samasa etc. is there. Then that is separated. And how that word is formed, that is also explained. That this is actually this root. To that this pratyaya is added. Then because of this sandhi rule, then this happens, etc. etc. Vakya yojana, then you arrange those words into a sentence and tell that this is the meaning of the entire verse. Then akshepasya samadhanam. Whatever doubts may arise in that are also clarified. This is called as methodology to explain Shastra. Shastra vyakhyana. Vyakhyanam panchalakshanam. One may have it. Nobody is saying not to have it. The point is what? Vaidusham vidusham tattvat. In the same way how it was for Vinā, in the same way this is scholarliness in the scriptures. Bhuktaye, natu muktaye. It is for enjoyment, not for liberation. Please understand the purpose. Even if when it is said that only by brahmatmaikatva bodha liberation is possible and therefore one must study Vedanta, but one must understand what that Vedanta is meant for. Each knowledge is meant for something. Understand the purpose. Understand that it is the means and not the goal. Don't use it to become famous. Swamiji, you just come to that place and you ask anybody, they will tell you. No, they will not just tell you, they will bring me to my doorstep. I am very, very famous, Swamiji, very famous. And then you start giving name also to yourself. Shri, Shri, Shri. 1008. Baba. Some name you give. Why? Famous. Bhuktaye, it is for enjoyment. Natu muktaye. Shankaracharya says in another text, Vajagovindam, Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha, Kashayambara bahukrita veshaha, Pashyannapi jana pashyati moodha, Udara nimittam bahukrita veshaha. All these different forms that you will take, sometimes, totally bald, sometimes, matted locks, and sometimes you will tie those locks like some old Rishi Munis, etc. used to tie. Kashayambara bahukrita vesha, different types of clothes to create your own identity. Pashyannapi jana pashyati. Even though seeing, this fool doesn't see. Udara nimittam bahukrita veshaha. All these things are done to feed your belly, not for liberation. Please don't do that. Focus on the purpose of Vedanta. Continuing the same point, Now Shankaracharya warns us. What is that? Let us see. Verse number 59. Please repeat. Avijñāte pare tattve śāstrādhītistu niṣphalā vijñāte'pi pare tattve śāstrādhītistu niṣphalā avijñāte pare tattve śāstrādhītistu niṣphalā vijñāte'pi pare tattve śāstrādhītistu niṣphalā. Shankaracharya is funny. He is cracking a joke. What is the joke he is cracking? He says, avijñāte pare tattve. This is called a sati saptami prayoga. When the saptami vibhakti is used to indicate time. When the paratattva, the supreme reality, avijñāta, is not known, pare tattve avijñāte, when the supreme reality is not known, śāstrādhītihi. Adhitihi means study. Shastra means scriptures. We know that. So, śāstrādhītihi means study of the scriptures. Niṣphalā. Niṣphalā, fruitless, purposeless, futile. Indeed. Two is also there. Avijñāte pare tattve śāstrādhītistu. That two means indeed. So, when the supreme reality is not known, study of the scriptures is indeed fruitless, purposeless, futile. And then what? Vijñāte'pi pare tattve. He says, when that supreme reality is known, śāstrādhītistu niṣphalā. Then also study of scriptures is niṣphalā, is fruitless. What? I was waiting for this verse. See, here it is clearly said, study of scriptures is completely futile. Why? Because if the supreme reality is not known, it is futile. If it is known, it is futile. And there are only these two possibilities. Either you don't know the reality or you know the reality. And in both cases, Shankaracharya himself has said that the study of scriptures is of no use, it is futile. I knew it from my childhood. Vedji, that's why we did not study scriptures. Don't forget. He is the same Shankaracharya who says, Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karma svanushthiyatam. Study the Vedas daily. Follow the injunctions given in the Vedas. Same person is telling. Also don't forget that he has put this word in the scripture only. So when you study the scripture only, you will know this verse also. So what does he mean? What he means is, the study of scriptures is meant for realization. If you are not realizing the self, if you are using that study of scriptures for something else, it is fruitless, it is purposeless, it is futile. Why? Because you are not using it for the main purpose. And once you have realized the self, study of scriptures is not required. Why? Because the destination is reached. Now what will you do with the means? We take the bus to reach a destination, a place. Now suppose sometimes what you say is, no, the bus is so good, Then what? Let me stay in the bus only. Nice. Arey, bus you have taken to go somewhere. After reaching there, what are you supposed to do? Get down and leave the bus. Once you reach the destination, bus is of no use. If you are not reaching the destination, bus is of no use. It's correct or not? Both the sentences are correct. So does it mean that bus is not useful? No, it is useful. When that bus is used as means to reach destination, it is useful. If I am using that bus but not reaching destination, it is useless. Once I have reached the destination, it is useless. So śāstrādhītistu, the study of scriptures, is useful when I use the scriptures to purify oneself and bring about that transformation. If I only use to gain more and more scholarliness, and I can by heart anything you just tell me, and Bhagavad Gita from front to end and end to front, and like this, like that, and you just tell me verse number, chapter number 16, verse number 6, I will tell you. And what is that verse saying? That verse is telling that there are something called as Daivi Sampat. There is something called as Asuri Sampat. Please get the Daivi Sampat. Don't, have Asuri Sampat. Have you tried doing it? Have you tried gaining that Daivi Sampat and giving up Asuri Sampat? No. I know it by heart. So anybody says anything, chipka, one verse, you paste it on his face and you send that person. Why? I know. Don't be like a donkey carrying the gold. Idiot fellow doesn't understand anything that he is carrying such a precious thing. So just as you knew so many different sciences, now you would say that now I know Vedanta also. Have you studied Vivekachoodamani? No. Vivekachoodamani you have not studied. What is this? Vivekachoodamani. Then your exposition on Vivekachoodamani starts. Shankaracharya's text. You know who is Shankaracharya? Understand what the study of scriptures should lead to. It should lead to realization. If that is happening, then that study is fruitful. Otherwise, it is fruitless. So here Shankaracharya is not telling us not to study. He is telling us, please remember the purpose. Why? Next verse Shankaracharya says, I will tell you why. What is that? Please repeat. śabdajālaṃ mahāraṇyaṃ cittabhramaṇakāraṇam ataḥ prayatnājñātavyaṃ tattvajñaistattvamātmanaḥ śabdajālaṃ mahāraṇyaṃ cittabhramaṇakāraṇam ataḥ prayatnājñātavyaṃ tattvajñaistattvamātmanaḥ. Very beautiful verse. He says, śabdajālaṃ mahāraṇyaṃ. This shabda is jala. Jala means net. Net, not internet. Internet is also like a net only. You get caught up only into that. That's why it is called as internet. Net, snare, no? Shabda is like that net. The net, the web of words. How it is? Mahāraṇyaṃ. Maha means huge, big. Aranyam means forest. Why is it called forest? Cittabhramaṇakāraṇam. It causes karanam. Cittabhramana. Mind starts to wander. Not wonder, wander. It causes agitation of mind. Cittabhramana. Cittabhramana. Brahmana means I keep wandering. The mind keeps roaming here and there without reaching anywhere. Just keeps wandering. Cittabhramaṇakāraṇam. Means what? See, this web of words, you get caught up in it very quickly. It's like that rat. keeps on saying that no, I should not go there, I should not go there. Why? Because there is some kind of trap is there. But finally the fellow goes and gets trapped. Shankaracharya is saying the Shabda. Shabda means here what? Shabda means study of different scriptures. Is like that net. Please understand, Shankaracharya is not saying don't study the scriptures. Please. He is warning us, please understand what it is meant for. Understand the purpose and then study. There is one very beautiful Subhashita, beautiful verse. It says, Anantam cha shastram bahulascha vidya. Anantam cha shastram, the scriptures are infinite. Bahulascha vidya. There are different types of sciences. Alpascha kalaha. Time is very less. We have only one lifetime right now with us. And that too, bahu vignatacha. There are lots of obstacles. There are many things to study, many sciences to master. Time is very less and there are lots of obstacles. So what one should do? Yat sarabhutam tadupasaniyam hamso yatha kshiram iva ambu mishram. Says, from all those scriptures, you take that which is essential. Yat sarabhutam tadupasaniyam, that you gain. How? Just like that hamsa pakshi, hamsa bird, which separates out the milk from the mixture of milk and water. Like that, from all the scriptures, you take what is sara, what is the essence. Don't get caught up into this web of words. Only because of compassion of Shankaracharya ji, he is telling us all these things. Otherwise, suppose I have a business. Which businessman will say that don't buy my books? Who will tell that? Nobody will say. But he is compassionate. He is warning us. Warning us against what? Against getting caught up in the study. They say there are different kinds of vasanas, no? Strong impressions are there. Habits. One of them is called a śāstrādhītistu also. Śāstrādhītistu means what? One wants to study and study and study and study and keep on studying. Further. One more. Unending. Without allowing that knowledge to get settled in us. Be a seeker, not a scholar. What is the difference between the two? The scholar studies in order to increase scholarship. That I know this also and that also and that also and that also and that also. A seeker studies to change one's life. Whatever I am studying, it may be a small text, it may be a big text. Please reflect on how is it bringing change in my life. What in that should I practice? Then and then alone, that study is fruitful. Don't get caught up in this web of words. Ataḥ, therefore, second half of the verse, Shankaracharya says, ataḥ prayatnājñātavyaṃ. By putting efforts, prayatnājñātavyaṃ, one should know what? Tattvamātmanaḥ, atmanaḥ tattvajñātavyaṃ. The essential reality, the truth of the self, the real nature of the self should be known. Tattvajñaihi. Here the word tattvajñaihi can mean two things. Tattvajñaihi, by the knowers of reality. Tattva means reality. By the knowers of reality means by understanding the teaching of the Guru, who is the knower of reality, you should also know the reality. One meaning. Second meaning, tattvajñaihi means by the seekers of reality, the real nature of the self should be known. So, tattvajñaihi can mean the Guru, tattvajñaihi can mean the seeker also. By the seeker it should be known. How? Through the teaching of the Guru. Atah prayatnājjñātavyaṃ. Shankaracharya ji is warning us. So he has first said that this path of self-realization is one where you have to put efforts yourself. Nobody else will do it for you. Then second thing, he has just told us that please understand utility value. Please understand what is meant for what. The study is meant to reach that goal of direct experience. If that is not happening, then study is fruitless, futile, right? So please remember that and go for that goal, right? Now, he gets to the third point. What is the next point that he wants to... See, he has not started answering the questions yet. Before answering, he is telling few things. Then he will start the answers, alright. So what is saying now next? Understand the main solution. What is that? Ajñānasarpadaṣṭasya brahmajñānauṣadhaṃ vinā kimu vedaiśca śāstraiśca kimu mantraiḥ kimauṣadhaiḥ. Ajñānasarpadaṣṭasya brahmajñānauṣadhaṃ vinā kimu vedaiśca śāstraiśca kimu mantraiḥ kimauṣadhaiḥ. He is telling what is required to get rid of your problem. Please understand that clearly. One example he gives. Ajñānasarpadaṣṭasya. For a person bitten by the snake of ignorance, ajñānasarpa. If I am bitten by snake, then what is required? Snake has bitten me means I will have poison in my body, right? Brahmajñānauṣadhaṃ vinā. Then I need a medicine that can remove that poison. Now here the snake is equivalent to ignorance, isn't it? The snake of ignorance has bitten me. Then what kind of medicine do I need? Brahmajñāna is the medicine that is required. Brahmajñāna, knowledge of that Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman means what? Knowledge that I am that Brahman. What was said earlier as Brahma, Atma, Aikya, Bodha. Without that medicine, ajñānasarpadaṣṭasya, without that medicine, how will one get rid of that snake bite and the poison? Kimu vedaihi. No, but I am doing all the other things. No. What? I am studying the Vedas. Started from the first Rigveda, first thing. Agnimile purohitam yajñasya devam ratvajam. From there I have started understanding everything, and now I am going to go through the whole thing, and then we will see. I have decided. Kimu vedaihi. Śāstraihi. Different scriptures I have studied, and then this science and that science and that science. Kimu mantraihi. I am repeating mantra, no? I am repeating mantras. You tell me, guys. Different stotras, different this, that. Kimauṣadhaiḥ. I am taking all the other medicines. So I have got poison in my body. I should take medicine that will remove the poison of the body. No, I am taking cough syrup. Cough syrup will not help you in sarpadaṣṭa. If the snake has bitten, then you have to take the medicine which will remove that poison. Similarly, if the problem is ignorance, the solution has to be brahmajñāna. No, but I am doing other things. It will not help. Please understand this, oh my dear. Shankaracharya ji again and again telling us, please understand what gives you what is meant for what. Get clarity on it. Earlier also he has said it plenty of times. Without the self-knowledge, without understanding that the real nature of the self is that Brahman, without getting self-knowledge, liberation is not possible. Janma koti shatairapi, he has said. Even in 100 crore births, it is not possible. So what you should do? Go for brahmajnana. Gives one more example. What? No, Swamiji, I understood. What? See, they are telling that brahmajnana one should get. And what is brahmajnana? Brahmajnana is aham brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Very simple. You just told I am brahmasmi. Like that now I also got understood. I am brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. Every day from today, every day, 4 or 5 malas of aham brahmasmi in the morning, 4 or 5 malas in the afternoon, 4 or 5 malas in the evening. What? Aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi. Then what? Realization. Shankaracharya says, no, will not work. Why it will not work? Beautiful example. Let us see. Verse number 62. Nagacchati vinā pānaṃ vyādhirauṣadhaśabdataḥ vināparokṣānubhavaṃ brahmaśabdairna mucyate. Nagacchati vinā pānaṃ vyādhirauṣadhaśabdataḥ vināparokṣānubhavaṃ brahmaśabdairna mucyate. Vinā pānaṃ, without consuming the medicine. Auṣadhaśabdataḥ, just by repeating the name of the medicine. Vyādhihi na gacchati, the disease doesn't go away. Means what? I have headache. So what? I must take aspirin. But instead of taking aspirin, I keep saying the word aspirin. Aspirin, 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 aspirin. What will happen? Number 1, your headache will not go. Number 2, your neighbor also will start getting headache because of you repeating the word aspirin. Vinā pānaṃ, without taking the medicine, by repeating the name of the medicine, the disease will not go away. Shankaracharya says, in the same way. Look at the examples that he is giving. Vinā pānaṃ auṣadhaśabdataḥ vyādhihi na gacchati tatha aparokṣānubhavaṃ vinā. Without the direct experience of the self. Brahmaśabdairna, just by saying I am Brahman, na mucyate, one doesn't get liberated. So by repeating I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I will not get liberated. I need to experience I am Brahman. Like what? Like repeating the name of the medicine, my disease will not go. I have to take that medicine. Similarly, the knowledge I am Brahman, I have to consume it. I have to take it in me. By repeating merely outside, it will not work. Gives one more example. But interestingly, he uses a different method. What method? Generally how he does, he gives example first and then connects that example to the point. Now here he is doing other way around. He is first explaining the point and then giving example. So 63rd verse, he is explaining what is the point. Then next verse, he is explaining what is the example. Let us see. Verse number 63. Akṛtvā drishyavilayam ajñātvā tattvamātmanaḥ brahmaśabdairna kuto muktihi uktimātraphalayirnṛṇām akṛtvā drishyavilayam ajñātvā tattvamātmanaḥ brahmaśabdairna kuto muktihi uktimatra phalairnrinam. Shankaracharya says, drishya vilayam akṛtvā. Without having accomplished the dissolution of the seen world. Drishya, seen. Vilaya, dissolution. Drishya vilayam akṛtvā. Not having done. Without having completed the dissolution of the world by knowledge. Not that dissolution of world means world is there and you put it in the water. No, that's not the point. You need to understand that the world is not real. That is called as drishya vilayam. If you have not done it, ajñātvā tattvamātmanaḥ. Atmanaḥ tattvam, the essence, the nature of the self, ajñātvā, without having known. So, the world is not yet dissolved as unreal. The reality of the self is not yet known. Then, brahmaśabdairna, just by saying I am Brahman, kutaha muktihi. How is liberation attained? Uktimatra phalaihi. Uktimatra phalaihi means just by chanting. Uktimatra phalaihi. Just by saying I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Will you become Brahman? Will you gain liberation? No. How will you gain? Nrinam, for beings, for humans, how will you gain liberation just by saying I am Brahman? To gain liberation, you have to do these things. What? You need to understand the essential nature of the self. You need to understand and experience that the world is not real. There is only one real substratum, Brahman, which is me. Unless you have experienced this, just by saying I am Brahman, you will not become Brahman, you will not gain liberation. Please understand the point. This is called as darshtantika. Darshtantika, drishtanta, darshtantika. Drishtanta means example, metaphor, simile is called as drishtanta. Darshtantika, what that example is trying to communicate, the point that it wants to explain, it's called as darshtantika. So here he is giving darshtantika first. What? The direct experience alone will give liberation. Without knowing the nature of the self, without dissolving the entire world to be unreal, you will not gain liberation. Just by saying I am Brahman, you will not become Brahman. Now he gives drishtanta. Example now Shankaracharya is giving. Next to us, let us see. Akṛtvā śatru samhāram.
Akṛtvā śatru samhāram.
Agatvā khila bhushriyam.
Agatvā khila bhushriyam.
Rājāhamiti śabdāno.
Rājāhamiti śabdāno.
Rājā bhavitumarhati.
Rājā bhavitumarhati.
Akṛtvā śatru samhāram. Agatvā khila bhushriyam. Rājāhamiti śabdāno. Rājā bhavitumarhati. Beautiful example. A king has lost his kingdom. Now, what he has to do? Shatru samhara. First, he has to destroy his enemies. Then, has to regain all the land that is lost. Isn't it? The king has, lost his kingdom. He has to destroy his enemy and get the land back. Then he can say he is king. Now what is he doing? Akṛtvā śatru samhāram. Without destroying the enemies. Agatvā akhila bhushriyam. without having regained all the land, bhu means land, akhila means entire, shriyam, all the land and wealth, without having regained, the fellow is just sitting and saying, Rajaham, I am the king, iti shabdat. Just by these words, Raja bhavitum na arhati. One doesn't become king. If you want to become king, you have to destroy your enemies and regain all the land. In order to become Brahman, you have to destroy the world. Destroy the world means what? Not that I will put bomb. No, jnana chakshusha. By understanding that the world is not real, the dissolution has to happen and you have to regain your real nature of the self. Without doing that, just by saying I am Brahman, you will not gain liberation. Like what? Like the king. Without destroying the enemies and without regaining the land, just by saying I am the king, one does not become king. Look at the example. You will not find such a perfect fit. And also please notice, he is somehow carrying that one thought. Earlier also he had used the word samrajyam. You remember? Atma samrajyam. Samrajyam word was used. That you regain your kingdom of the self. Here also he is telling the same point. But he is mentioning it through example. If you want to become king, you have to do this. Okay. So, Shankaracharya ji, what beautifully has explained so far, what will give you moksha, what will not give you moksha, what you should do, what you should not do. Right? So far, if you put all the thoughts, so after the question of the student, after praising the student, Shankaracharya ji said what? Point number 1. The path to self-realization is one which one has to walk oneself. Others can help, but one has to do it oneself. That is point number 1. Point number 2. What will give me moksha is that Brahma Atma Aikya Bodha. The scriptures will give me knowledge of that, but don't just get caught up in the scholarship, oratory. No, these are the pitfalls in the path. Don't fall for it. Understand what the scriptures and study of scriptures are meant for. They are not meant for gaining scholarship. They are not meant for becoming great orator and becoming famous and can talk on any topic. No. They are meant for purifying your mind and getting that knowledge which will liberate us. There is one very beautiful quote. Sa vidya ya vimuktaye. That is called as knowledge which liberates me. Sa vidya ya vimuktaye. Please remember that. Point number 2. Point number 3, he warned us again. When it is said that Brahmatmaikya Bodha is required, don't merely utter it by saying I am Brahman, I am Brahman. No, it will not work. If you are bitten by the snake of ignorance, you have to take the medicine. Other means will not help. And that also, you cannot just keep chanting the name of the medicine. The disease will not go by chanting the name of the medicine. The disease will go by consuming the medicine. Don't just keep repeating I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Consume it. Let that information become knowledge and later on let it become experience. Now, Shankaracharya, after explaining this, he gives the path how that aham brahmasmi information will become the knowledge and later on it will become the experience. And that he is doing through a beautiful metaphor. You give me better metaphor in any shastra and I will accept the defeat. What? Shankaracharya is absolutely on the point. Gurudev used to love this verse and he used to explain this verse in such a way that you will never forget it ever. What is that? Verse number 65. An extended metaphor of the path. And because it is beautiful verse, Shankaracharya changes the meter also. So we have to change the tune also. Please repeat. Aptoktim khananam.
Aptoktim khananam.
Tathoparishiladhyutkarshanam.
Tathoparishiladhyutkarshanam.
Svikritim.
Svikritim.
Nikshepassamapekshate.
Nikshepassamapekshate.
Nahi bahīśabdaistu nirgacchati.
Nahi bahīśabdaistu nirgacchati.
Tadvad brahmavidopadesha.
Tadvad brahmavidopadesha.
Mananadhyanadibhirlabhyate.
Mananadhyanadibhirlabhyate.
Maya karyatirohitam.
Maya karyatirohitam.
Swamamalam.
Swamamalam.
Tattvam na duryuktibhihi.
Tattvam na duryuktibhihi.
Aptoktim khananam tathoparishiladhyutkarshanam svikritim. Nikshepassamapekshate nahi bahīśabdaistu nirgacchati. Tadvad brahmavidopadesha manana dhyanadibhirlabhyate. Maya karyatirohitam swamamalam tattvam na duryuktibhihi. Beautiful metaphor. This kind of metaphor. So now you see Drishtanta example we have seen, no? Where one thing is compared with one thing. Now these type of things are called as extended metaphors. Rupaka, in Sanskrit they are called as Rupaka. Rupaka means what? Many things are compared with many things of the same example. So here the metaphor is what? That long ago your great grandfather has kept some treasure under some tree in your ancestral house, right? But after so many generations, they have forgotten that there is treasure within their compound. And then what happens? Then slowly you have become more and more what? Poor. So the house is still the same, but things have started going out, and what is remaining is bare minimum. At such time, some old person comes and tells you that I have one book which your ancestors used to maintain. And in that, you understand, you find out that there is a mention of some kind of treasure hidden inside the earth. Exactly where you are staying, at the same place but underground, inside the earth. Now what? Now you have to take it out. That is the metaphor. Now, if you have listened to Gurudev, I am sure you will immediately remember all the explanation that Gurudev has given. Gurudev would say that because it is a treasure and there are all the neighbors who are always looking at your house, so therefore you don't go and start digging in the day. You go quietly in the night and start digging. So now that is the entire metaphor. What is the metaphor? So in the first line, Shankaracharya is giving this metaphor. And in the second line, he is telling what each step is to be compared with. Okay. So first thing is what? Aptoktim. Aptoktim. Apta uktim. Ukti means word. Apta means a dear person. A well-wisher. Means what? That old person who came and told me that there is something like this, please read this. This is called as aptoktim. First I came to know that, oh, there is something like this. Then what? Khananam. Khananam, digging. Now, of course, Gurudev would say, don't dig during the day. Why? Then everybody will know that there is a treasure. And because of the new government laws, the government will take away the treasure. They will say this doesn't belong to you. So don't you tell anybody that there is a treasure. So night time when everybody is sleeping, quietly go. Don't make much noise while digging. Slowly dig. Then what? While digging, when you are digging, the clay remains there. You keep digging, nothing will happen. You will be just moving the same clay. So what you have to do? You have to take those stones and keep it outside. Tatha upari shiladi utkarshanam. This is all Shankaracharya is mentioning. When you start digging, the stones etc. which are there, you have to take it out. Upari means on top. Shiladi means small pebbles, stones will be there. Utkarshanam. Remove them. Then what? Then you dig it. Then you get the treasure. Swikritim. Swikritim means retrieving, accepting the treasure. Swikriti is actually accepting. What it means is retrieving that treasure. Nikshepa means treasure. Samapekshate, one gains. So one gains the treasure by all these steps. First somebody told, aptoktim, point number 1. Then khananam, digging. Then uparishiladi utkarshanam, removing the stones from top. Point number 3. Point number 4, retrieving that treasure. In this way, one gains the treasure. Nikshepa samapekshate nahi, and not by bahishabdaistu nirgacchati. What is that? You are just going to a place where they have told that there is treasure, and then keep saying there, oh treasure, come out, oh treasure, come out, treasure, come out, treasure, come out. Just by saying come out, it will not come out. Bahishabdaihi, saying that come out, na nirgacchati, it doesn't come out. You have to find the place, dig there, remove the stones, retrieve the treasure. That is the way you will gain the treasure. Now, all this, you apply it in the spiritual life. Gurudev's example, metaphor will not stop there. He will say that don't just leave that pit from where you have retrieved the treasure. No. Put the clay back, put the stones back. On top of that, create some garden. If you can't, take away some grass from somewhere and put it. Why? People should not know that you have digged there. Example, Gurudev is expanding. And he would say, if you don't know how to create garden, please ask Swami Subodhananda. He will tell you, he is expert in that. He will tell you all these things. Why? Because that is the beauty. So, the treasure which is there right with me, I don't know that I have it. I come to know because of some dear person telling me. It starts with that Guru Upadesha. Therefore, Shankaracharya also connects that aptokti to what? Tadvata. You see the second line? Tadvata. Tadvata, in the same way, Brahmavit Upadesha. That is point number 1. Brahmavit Upadesha. Upadesha, teaching. Teaching of whom? Brahmavit, knower of Brahman. Guru. Guru Upadesha. Guru Upadesha means what? Shravana. Guru's Upadesha means Shravana for us. right? Point number 1 is Shravana. So, aptoktim was said. Now what you have to do is, the first line and second line, 1 to 1 you have to relate. So, aptoktim was the first point there. Here the first point is Shravana. Here what is the treasure? The treasure is my own real nature, which is Brahman. How will I gain it? Step number 1. Somebody tells me you have that treasure in you. Guru tells me, tattvamasi, you are that. So, aptokti is compared with Shravana. Brahmavit upadesha. Then what is that digging? Is it okay? I came to know I have the treasure. Will I get the treasure? No, my dear. Why? Because when Guru says you are Brahman, it is Guru's knowledge. Now that knowledge has to become your knowledge. How will you make it your knowledge? By digging. That digging is called as reflection. Manana. See the next word. Tadvad brahma vidopadesha manana. Manana is reflection. So, Shravana, I am listening to the teaching of the Guru. Manana, reflecting over the teaching. That is called as digging. I am going to the depth of understanding. That is called as digging. Now, when you are doing the digging, the stones that come out, you have to throw them out. Dhyana. Next word you see, dhyana. Dhyana means meditation. Meditation means what? Giving up all the other thoughts. Focusing on the single thought. Vijñāteya pratyaya tiraskritya sajatiya vritti pravaha. All the contrary thoughts that I am man, I am a human being, I am so and so, I am very intelligent, all these thoughts I have to give up. Only single thought I have to maintain, I am that Brahman. And it is not merely chanting it, but I need to make it my personal experience. For that, dhyana, contemplation, nididhyasana, that step is explained by saying, uparishiladi utkarshanam, removal of all the stones, removal of all the negativities, removal of all the obstructing tendencies of the mind. Adibhihi is there, etc. That etc. is referring to the samadhi, the next step of nirvikalpa samadhi, which is compared with swikriti. See, one by one you please connect. Aptoktim is Shravana, Brahmavidupadesha. Khananam is compared with Mananam. See, there also he is finding rhyme. Khanana, Manana. Shankaracharya only. Then Tatha Uparishiladi Utkarshanam, removal of all the stones, is compared with Dhyana, Nididhyasana, contemplation. Then next one is Swikriti, retrieving the treasure. That is compared with Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where that thought, I am Brahman, that thought also becomes so subtle that it just disappears. The mind merges into that Brahman. You become one with it. Then you gain that supreme. Swam tattvam labhyate. Once nature, reality, essence is gained. How is it? Maya karya tirohitam. That which is veiled by Maya. Maya. We will come to the topic of Maya later on. Shankaracharya himself will explain 40 verses down the line. That time we will see. But Maya, we have heard this word so many times, isn't it? Maya, ajnana, ignorance. Karya means effects. So, ignorance and its effects have covered that self, the real nature of myself, that now I have removed and I have unearthed the treasure. I have regained my own true nature. Swam amalam. Amalam, which is absolutely pure. Amalam, without any impurity. That self I have regained. And not naduryuktibhihi, not by superficial or wrong logic. This is point number 6 of comparison. What was the point in the example? Just by saying come out, it will not come out. Similarly, just by using different kinds of logics, just by saying I am Brahman, I will not become Brahman. What I have to do? I have to do Shravana, gain the knowledge of the scriptures from the Guru. Then I have to do Manana, reflect on that knowledge, clear all the doubts, then contemplate on it, meditate on it, make that knowledge your experience. Then you will gain the supreme nature, then you will gain the liberation, and not by just saying I am Brahman. So see once again, all words are understood or not. Aptoktim, khananam, tathoparishiladi utkarshanam, swikritim, step number 4, nikshepas samapekshate, mukti, gaining the treasure. Step number 5, nahi bahīścabdaistu nirgacchati. And point number 6 is what? Not just by saying come out, the treasure will not come out. Now these 6 things are compared with what? Aptokti is compared with Shravana, the Guru's teaching I am listening to. Khanana, digging, is compared with Manana, reflection. Uparishiladi utkarshana, removal of all the stones etc. is compared with Dhyana, Nididhyasana, contemplation. Then Swikritim, accepting or retrieving that treasure, is compared with that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the state of meditation which is without thought. Step number 5 is what? Nikshepas samapekshate. I have now retrieved and I have become one with the treasure. That is compared with Swam Tattvam Labhyate, gaining one's own true nature, which was earlier covered by ignorance and its effects, but it is pure amalam that I have regained. Point number 6 is what? Naduryuktibhihi, not by wrong logic. Just by saying I am Brahman, I will not become Brahman. I need to gain that knowledge I am Brahman from the teacher. I need to reflect on that knowledge. I need to contemplate on that knowledge. I need to meditate on that knowledge. I need to experience that knowledge. Right? So this is the path. This is called as path of knowledge, what is famously known as Jnana Yoga. The word Jnana Yoga you must have heard many times. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, like that Jnana Yoga. What is that path of knowledge? The path of knowledge is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Sometimes Nididhyasana, after that you add one more step called Samadhi. But actually Samadhi step is included many times in Nididhyasana itself. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Through this, come to realize the self. Now, Shankaracharya ji, in next 3 verses, brings all the topics together, whatever he has said so far. Shankaracharya ji means the Guru. The Guru in the story brings all the points together, again praises the student and says, now please listen to the answers. And from verse number 69, he starts the answers. Alright, that we will see in the next session. Okay, please reflect on these verses. It is not sufficient that you come and attend the class and then the book is closed. Next week, when the class is there, the book opens. That way, the reflection will not happen. Please read it again. Read the commentary. Understand each and every verse, each and every word. Something is not clear, ask somebody. Some students are there with you, co-students. Ask them. If then still it is not clear, we have, even given you a chance to ask the question, isn't it? You can put it in that form and we will answer. Okay? Please don't just keep mere information. Shankaracharya ji, as a compassionate teacher, is telling us again and again, Shastra is meant for gaining liberation. Please use it for that. How? When the study, information becomes knowledge, and when that knowledge becomes experience. Right? For that information to become knowledge, manana is required. Information is shravana. Knowledge is manana. Experience will be attained by nididhyasana, by contemplating and meditating on it. Please do all that. Then only the knowledge is fruitful. Alright? Chalo. We will conclude. Sadguru. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.